Hello everyone, this is Herb coming to you on Facebook Live from the Epcot Norway Pavilion and the Frozen Ever After attraction, my first ride. And if the internet connection holds up and cast members don't scold me for photographing, I'd like to bring you along. So again, welcome, this is Herb. Frozen Ever After, it is Saturday morning in the Epcot Norway Pavilion. There was a huge crowd waiting just to get into Epcot this morning. And now the line is starting to funnel in a little bit into the Epcot Pavilion, into the Norway Pavilion. And hopefully I'll be inside the building pretty soon. We'll see how the internet connection holds up. So thanks for joining me for the first live ride on Frozen Ever After. We've got Fast Pass folks coming in on the right-hand side. Looks like there's a little water station set up here so people don't pass out, because it is a pretty warm day here. Hello, Amanda. It's nice to see you. And hi, Yolanda. Thanks for joining me. All right, Frozen Ever After. Hi, Joanna. Good morning. Hello, Coven. You are welcome. Glad to do the video. Hopefully the internet will hold up well. Abby asked, did Frozen Ever After just open today? No, it opened on Tuesday, I believe, just earlier this week. Hi, Dana. Good morning. Amanda says, excited to see it. Me too. I've got to admit, I peeked at a few videos online, and the attraction looks pretty great. John says, nice video so far. Thanks. Hopefully the connection will hold up. So entering into the show building here on the right, we've got the Fast Pass. Right now the standby is just 10 minutes, and that's only because everyone just walked back here. Hello, Sandy from Maryland. Okay, it says the internet connection is weak. We'll see how it goes. Barbara asks, which part of the park is this located? It's in Epcot, in the World Showcase area, and the Norway Pavilion. A lot of nice details here in the queue area. Probably be waiting a little while. Douglas asks if the park opened at 9. Yeah, it did. But they started to let people into the gate around 8:30, and then they were held before the Mexico Pavilion. And then by 9 o'clock, we were able to walk back here into Norway. All right, Jackie, good morning from Mississippi. A lot of interesting details here in the queue area of Frozen Ever After. Cynthia says, thanks for showing this. You're welcome. Linda asked if there are any hidden Mickeys. That's a really good question. It's my first time here, so we may run into some. Haven't seen any quite yet, but I just got inside the door. Ed says, thanks for showing this. You're welcome. It's pretty noisy here in the queue area. Lori says, hello. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Barbara asks, is it hot or rainy? It is very hot and very sweaty today. Very humid. It was in the 80s this morning, and I think it's a bit climbing up and pretty warm today. Andrea says, good morning from New Jersey. Good to see you. Alyssa says, thank you. You're welcome. Darren asks, what type of ride? This is a classic Disney dark ride. It is a boat ride. It's where Maelstrom used to be. Now it's Frozen Ever After. Brian says, saw it Tuesday and it was great. Good. Glad you enjoyed it. Hello, Joel from Alabama. And Sherry, good morning from Holly Springs, North Carolina. Glad everybody could join me. Again, this is Herb on Facebook Live, coming to you from the Epcot Norway Pavilion. And my first ride on Frozen Ever After. I'm hoping the internet connection will hold up well. Diane asks if there are fast passes available. Yes, they are, but it looks like they went very quickly. You probably have to get one as far in advance as you can. Hello, Patricia from Orlando. Megan, good morning from California. And another Megan from Cincinnati. Hello. Grace says, love seeing these videos. Thank you. If you enjoy the video, please like or follow or subscribe or whatever button you see next to the video so you can get a notification from Facebook for future broadcasts. Hello, Jimmy from Ohio and Debbie from South Carolina. Thanks for joining me. Here we are in Epcot, the Norway Pavilion, Frozen Ever After. Kind of a long and winding queue to get back to the attraction itself. David says, thanks for the videos. You're welcome. And Evans, good morning. Hello, Tom from Delaware. And John from Texas, thanks for joining me. Lots of fun things to see in this queue. It's like a little snow sled here. Hi, Gina. Nice to see you. Laura asks, how do I do the video and see the comments at the same time? Actually, Facebook shows me both a video window and a spot where I can check out the comments. I don't actually see all the comments go by, just some of them. So if I don't react to your comment, please accept my apologies, but I don't actually see all of them. Because if I saw all of them, they'd just scroll by way too fast. All right, we're out of the first turn of the queue in Frozen Ever After. Vincent asks if I am in the Fast Pass lane. No, I'm not. I'm in the standby lane. But I got to the park early and got into the show building right around 9 o'clock. So hopefully the wait won't be too long. Hello, Beth from Alabama. Kelly says, hopes the video holds up. Me too. It's very frustrating to me, and I'm sure to you as well, when the internet connection drops and the video just doesn't hold on. So fingers crossed we'll have a good video day. Linda, good morning from Pennsylvania. Barbara says, how exciting. And Toya from the Isle of Wight. Thanks for joining. Hopefully I said that correctly. A lot of fun details in the queue here. Kelly asked, am I using Disney guest Wi-Fi? Yes, I am, but I've also got my cellular connection as well, so I hope that between the two, I'll get a good connection. Sandy asked, what time did I get in line? It was at 8:30, well, actually around 8, and then Epcot opened its entrance gates around 8:30. We were able to walk down to just short of the Mexico Pavilion by around 8:45, and then by the time it was 9 o'clock, we're right in front of the Norway Pavilion. So there is the Duke of Wesselton, or Weaselton as I like to call him. Summer ice now available. Summer wear 50% off. It's fun. Hello, Julie from West Sussex, UK. Richard from Dover, Delaware. Thanks for joining me. Joe says, thanks for the video. In Indiana, you are welcome. Glad you could join me. Here we are in the queue of Frozen Ever After. My first ride on the attraction. Thanks for joining me. Alicia asked, does the wait line have interactive stuff for kids? That's a good question. I haven't run across anything yet, and I haven't heard about anything, so to the best of my knowledge, no. But I guess we'll see. Chrissy and Cincy. Oh, you can go ahead, thanks. All right, entering into next area of the queue here. Megan, good morning from Nashville, Tennessee. Megan asks, is it a roller coaster or a boat ride? So Frozen Ever After is a boat ride. It takes place in the old Maelstrom attraction. Lil asks, is there air conditioning in the line? And thankfully the answer is yes. So now that I'm inside the show building, it is air conditioned. It feels pretty good because it is a hot and humid day outside in Central Florida today. Mindy asks, how long have I been in line? I would say maybe 5 or 10 minutes so far. So I arrived at Epcot around 8. They opened up the entrance around 8:30, stopped us just short of Mexico around 8:45, and then by 9 o'clock I was able to get into the show building. So kind of a long and winding queue here as we are waiting to get in. Gigi says yay to AC, and I second that emotion. Ann asks, how are everybody's spirits in line? I would say pretty good. I see a lot of smiling people. I hear a lot of chatter. So it looks like people are doing pretty well. I think they're going to be a little more wilted as the day goes on, but everybody's still pretty fresh right now, in a good way. Hello, Marcella from Michigan. She says she loves the live broadcast. I'm glad. Glad you could join me. So again, this is Herb from World of Walt coming to you on Facebook Live from the Epcot Norway Pavilion and Frozen Ever After, my first time in the attraction. I am in the standby queue, and I have fingers crossed that I will be able to continue broadcasting. Diane asked, have they ever asked me to stop live streaming? Only one time so far, and that was I was on the new Soarin' Around the World attraction in Epcot, and I was seated. The Epcot internet was holding up, and I was very hopeful that I was going to be able to do a broadcast there. But at the last moment, the cast member saw that I was holding my phone and it was on, and he said no photography. But that so far has been the only time when I've not been able to do a live broadcast. Kim says hello. Hi, Kim. Brittany says the lanterns are a nice touch. They are, actually. This is a really nicely themed area of the queue. Justin asks, how am I at the park every day? I don't actually get to the parks every day. I do live nearby, but maybe every week, every couple times a week sometimes, every other week sometimes. Michelle from New Jersey says she's going to be here in a week. Tracy says new Soarin' ride. Yep, so there is a new movie in Soarin'. So instead of scenes of California now, it's scenes from all around the world. It's actually really, really well done. The clarity of the video is nice. The photography is beautiful. And here at Epcot, they've opened up a third theater. So I think the lines are still crazy for Soarin'. Definitely one for a fast pass, but a great attraction made even better. Lanny from New Jersey says, can you do a fast pass? And thanks. So you're welcome. And yes, you can get a fast pass for Frozen Ever After. The trick is just getting one, so if you are planning to visit Epcot and you want to go on Soarin' Ever After, I would say make sure that you get your Fast Pass booked as early as possible. Rich says a cast member probably had a bad day. You know, it could be. We all have bad days. Vicky says Epcot fireworks are the best. Yeah, I do like Illuminations. It's a great show. Simone says, thank you from Melbourne, Australia. Thanks for joining me. And Jamie says, July 11th going to arrive. Hope you have a good trip. It's going to be hot, but you'll have a fun time. Jeff says, I think Soarin's one of the only rides you can't film. Yeah, you know, it's the only time so far I've been told not to. Beth from Illinois, hello. And Los asks, how long is the wait? So when I went past the wait sign when I entered into the show building, it said 10 minutes, and that's because I'd already waited about an hour at the front of the park and on my way over. So I hope that this queue is not going to last too much longer. Rena says, thanks for doing it. The kids love Frozen. Glad that you're enjoying it. And I have my fingers crossed the internet connection will hold up. I'll be able to broadcast all the way. Sure hope so. Beth says only 98 more days. Not that she's counting. And Jennifer, hello from Chicago. Can't wait till next year. Hope you have a good trip. Hello, Tanya from Dayton, Ohio. Jose says, has there been much rain down there recently? No, it hasn't really been rainy the past few days that I can recall. It's actually a little unusual. So during the summertime, it's very, very typical to get a downpour in the middle of the afternoon, but then it normally goes away. Hello, Scott from New Jersey. Thanks for joining me. Laura asked, do people in the line wonder who I'm talking with? Sometimes I wonder. Occasionally I get a look like I'm a little bit crazy, but that's okay because I am a little bit crazy. That's okay. I don't mind. It's actually fun talking with everyone here, and Glad to be able to do the broadcast and share a little bit of my Disney experience with you. Elaine says, why can you not do soaring? The cast member said there is no photography on the attraction, and maybe it was just a cast member with a bad day. Maybe it was a cast member following directions very, very carefully. Not sure what the deal was, but I did try to do a live broadcast of Soarin', and cast member said no, so that one didn't happen. Christine says hello from New Jersey. Going to be here in just 14 days. Live feeds are getting her through. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. Michelle, Louisiana's in the house. Thanks for joining me. Oh, Ann says no filming in Monsters, Inc. as well. You know, I have also heard cast members say that no photography or filming in Monsters, Inc. That's a good one. Lisa asks, is the new ride open now? And yes, it is. So here I am in the queue of Frozen Ever After. It's now open to the general public. I think it opened this past Tuesday. Leslie says, how do people get fast passes in advance? So after you have your ticket, you can link your ticket to your Magic Band or your My Disney Experience app on the internet or on your smartphone. And from there, if you are staying at a Disney Resort Hotel 60 days in advance, you can reserve a fast pass. Or if you are not staying at a Disney Resort, 30 days in advance. And so you just have to do a little search on the app or the website and make your reservation. Andrew says he watches all the live feeds and gets them through the year before he comes, so thank you for doing that. Elliot asks the location of this attraction. So this is Frozen Ever After in the Norway Pavilion. It's in the World Showcase section of Epcot. Glad you could join me. Lisa asks, what's the wait time right now? So when I walked into the show building and I walked under the wait time sign, it said 10 minutes. I'm sure it's much longer than that right now because there was a huge line of people just waiting to get into the park, and I'm sure a lot of them were headed to where we are right now, which is Frozen Ever After. Ai says, wow, and hello from Japan. Wow, thanks for watching. Ryan asks, are you going to sing with Olaf? You know, I will try to control myself, so you watching on the broadcast here don't have to endure me doing that. Kara, sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, says fast passes for July 20th. Good idea. Todd says, wouldn't an indoor lantern show every 15 minutes be cool for guests waiting in line? Actually, that's a really good idea. It would be fun to see the lanterns maybe blink or dance to music a little bit to keep everybody occupied during the long wait. Naomi asks, is the queue interactive? I actually have not seen either myself in person or on the internet any interactive elements of the queue. Kathy says, I've been live for 18 minutes. Yeah, my 10-minute wait is 18 minutes so far. So hopefully the rest of the queue will go pretty quickly, but there's quite a long line here. Andy's going to be here in September for the Not So Scary Halloween party. Hopefully the lines won't be so bad. I hope you have a good time. Helen asks, is it crazy? I would say it's definitely busy. Definitely a lot of folks here. But people have been pretty good-spirited, and no riots have broken out, which is good. Nicole asks, am I excited? I am excited. It's always kind of a thrill to be able to visit a brand new Disney attraction for the first time, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Julie asks, is there a height restriction? That's a really good question. I didn't actually notice if there was a height restriction, so because this is a relatively slow-moving boat ride, I would guess that you're probably okay, but good to check with Disney. Nikura asks, how is security? So a while ago, Disney added metal detectors at the at the entrance to the parks. They're still there. It's still random selection. Not everyone goes through the metal detector, although it seems like I get randomly selected quite a bit. I guess maybe I look a little fishy, I don't know. So you do have to plan a couple extra minutes, although the movement through the queue to get into the park through the bag check and the metal detectors moves very quickly. Linda says she's been here 8 times and loves it. Glad that you do. Chrissy, are there any tricky trolls? I don't know. We will see. Dan asks, how long is the actual ride itself? Actually, I don't know. We'll find out together if the internet connection holds up. Susan says, thanks for all the videos. You are welcome. Glad you could join me. And David, hello from Buffalo, New York. Alicia going for Christmas. Hope you have a good trip. That's a great time of year to come. It's not quite so hot. Great decorations. Renee asks, what time is it? It's probably about 9:20, 9:30 U.S. Eastern Time right now. Kristen says she's been here 18 times. Good for you. So World Showcase opened before 11. Yeah, that's right. So now the Mexico Pavilion and the Norway Pavilion open at 9 o'clock when the park opens. So they are open early. I think the rest of the World Showcase area is still closed until 11, but those two countries now open at 9 because of the crazy popularity of Frozen Ever After. Angela asks, the best time to visit Disney. If you are able to schedule a vacation when kids are in school, normally the lines are a little lower, but Disney has been doing a really good job of keeping their parks full all the time. So whenever you go, kind of be ready for some crowds. Another good time is actually right after Thanksgiving, say the first week or so in December. A lot of people are getting ready for Christmas, or they're going to be making a trip during Christmas time. Jackie says, thank you from Pennsylvania. You are welcome. So we are here in the Frozen Ever After queue, hoping that the internet connection holds up and that my battery holds up. So far, so good. Lauren says, Frozen Ever Afters for any height. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for that. Steve says, do other folks in line know you're streaming? Maybe. So some folks give me a little look sometimes like, who in the world are you talking to? And I think occasionally folks will get a little bit of a glimpse on my phone and they can see the Facebook live stream. Jeff says he went in January. There weren't many people there. January is a good time as well. So a lot of people made their trip during Christmas. They're back to work. They're back to school. So that's good too. Lisa says February is a good time. I agree with that as well. Maria asks, am I live streaming Soarin'? I tried to do that, and cast members said no photography in the attraction. Fred says, brilliant, and how long is the queue? So when I walked into the show building, it said 10 minutes, but I'm thinking it's been a little bit longer than that. We'll take a look at the queue wait time after we get off the attraction. We'll see. Spencer asks if I want to build a snowman. For some reason, suddenly, I do want to build a snowman. I don't know why. Hello, Karen from Delaware. Grace says anytime is a good time to go. Ryan says, what has the opening of this ride done to Soarin'? It's a good question. It's been open for less than a week. I've got to imagine that it's going to pull some of the folks who might have otherwise waited for Soarin' over here into Frozen Ever After. I actually checked and got a fast pass for Soarin' this morning, kind of day of, which is pretty unusual. So maybe now that Soarin's been open a bit, Frozen's open, maybe the Soarin' time will be down a little bit. Maria says, how's the air quality in the queue? Actually, it's very comfortable. It's nice air conditioning, big open space here, so it's been done very well. Dee Dee says she'll go when the hype is done. Stacy says she's going to be here in 15 days from Manchester, England, and can't wait. Stacy, I hope you have a really good trip. Hope everything is calm and cool in the UK after the big Brexit vote this past week. Sherry says, do you know how close you are? I believe that the loading area is right beyond that building, but this queue kind of weaves back and forth, so it's a little hard to say. I feel like I should be pretty close. Denise says, is there no line? It seems like people are just milling around. Actually, there is a line, so there are stanchions here, so people are following a defined path to get through the queue. But as you look around, it kind of just looks like madness. But there is an organization here. Lori says, thanks for sharing. Going to be here in December. Irene says, when are they going to have this in Disneyland? That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't heard about any announcements. Yeah, Steve said losing me. I hope not. Getting a message, the internet connection is weak, but hopefully it will hold up. If it gets disconnected, sometimes it comes back, so if that happens, maybe just check back in. Brenda's going to be here in 290 days. Chrissy says the track seems to be the same. What I read is that they actually extended the track but used the majority of it. Ronnie says, wish I were here. Kay says it started to break up, but don't. I know it's very frustrating when the internet connection kind of comes and goes, so my apologies for that. I'm really hoping that the internet connection stays. I appreciate everyone hanging in there with me through the queue. Queue's actually taking a lot longer to get through than I expected. Brenda says, thanks for sharing. You're welcome. Audrey's going to be here in November. Hope that you have a good trip. Brenda says, did you get a fast pass, because she can't get one for next month? I did have a fast pass for Wednesday, and then due to a scheduling change, I wasn't able to use it. I was not able to get a fast pass today, or really any time in the future. So my guess is these fast passes are going to be a very hot ticket and hard to get. Kimberly says, love the videos. Hold me over until the next trip in 1 month. Glad that you enjoy them. So if you do enjoy the video, I'd encourage you to hit the like or follow or subscribe button, whatever it might say, so that you can be notified for future broadcasts, and I really do appreciate your joining me. I'm hoping my battery holds up, and I'm hoping that the internet connection holds up. I can see the load area right over here in this next building. I just don't know how long it's going to take to get there. Donna says, what ride did this replace? This replaced Maelstrom. There was actually quite an outcry when Disney shut down Maelstrom in the Norway Pavilion. But I would say that the popularity of this ride so far shows that Disney probably made a good move, even though a lot of people I know were upset. Diane says, lucky to get on a few days ago despite all the temporarily closed moments. Glad that you had a chance to check it out. Eileen says, I love that it's nighttime like in Mexico. It's cool and relaxing. You're right. It is very cool and relaxing here inside the queue, which is nice. So a lot of people are spending a lot of time here. Hello, Ken from the Badger State. Donna says, thank you. You're welcome. And Elena says, thanks from California. Going to be here next year. Hope you have a good trip. Going into a little place here in the queue where it says Summer Snow Day Blowout. And you can see a welcome sign over here. Hello, Lex from the Netherlands. Can't wait to come to Walt Disney World. Hope you get to do that soon. Hello, Susan from Richmond, Indiana. Vicky says, disappear, disappear. I remember that line from Maelstrom. Sherry says, thanks for the live feed. You're welcome. Valerie says the entrance looks like the old Maelstrom exit. You're right. It reminds me of that as well. Like walking into a little Norwegian village. Mindy says, great that you do this for all of the people who can't get on the ride. Glad that you enjoy it. I'm happy that I'm able to do it. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the internet connection and the battery holds up for us. Allison watching from the UK. Kids can't wait to visit next year. Hoping you don't cut out. Me too. And I hope you have a good trip. Blake says, thanks, you're welcome. Betty says, doesn't think there should be fast passes. Yeah, it's one of those things where it pays to plan ahead. Disney definitely wants you to do so and encourages you to plan ahead. All right. Welcome. Okay, it looks like the connection's getting a little weak. Fingers crossed that it will hold up. But if it doesn't, sometimes it pops back in. Hello, Amy from Tennessee. Looks like this little house has a fireplace. Just what we need for a balmy Orlando summer day.
Happy summer snow day!
Looks like the connection is back. Sorry about that, everyone. Julie and John say yay. So it still says it's kind of weak. It may just be the point in the queue. So looks like we're at the merge point of the standby and a fast pass line.
Everyone's going to Elsa's ice house today. Should be a real
Hi. One. All right, looks like the connection's back, and we're pretty close to the loading area, so fingers crossed. Jennifer says that the internet connections are usually bad inside the rides. You're right, they often are. So, bad news is the internet connection is weak. Good news is I am very close to where we get on the attraction, so we'll see what happens. So I just passed the point where the fast pass queue and the standby queue merge together. So really close to where we get on the attraction itself. Okay, it looks like the internet connection is strong again, so that's good news. Misty asks, "This is my first time on?" It is. Corey says, "I'm 5 minutes away." Okay, good to know. So I can see these people, big smiles, just got off the attraction. You can see right over here is the load and unload area. It's a little dark, it's hard to see. Donna says, "Are you planning to stream on the ride?" I am, hoping that the internet connection holds up. Right now it's strong. Lola says it's very dark. You're right, it is. I think the entire attraction is going to be pretty dark, so fingers crossed to be able to see as much as possible. See some people getting off of the boats there. Lots of smiles.
All right, I'm tired of this line. Let's go.
Scott says, "What is the queue?" So this is the interior queue for Frozen Ever After. Kind of winds around and around. Kathy Kelly, hello Kathy, says it's been 35 minutes live. So yeah, my 10-minute wait is more like a half-hour wait. Candy says, was on the Yeti ride with me when I was live. Oh, glad you could join me for that. That was fun to do Expedition Everest. There's a sign here, it's a little hard to see. It says, "Proclamation of the official summer snow day." Susan said a 4-hour wait. Yeah, a lot of people have waited many hours to get on Frozen Ever After. It's been an incredibly popular attraction so far. Craig and Jennifer say, how do I feel about the upcoming Star Wars additions to Walt Disney World? Actually, I'm a pretty big fan of Star Wars, so I'm very excited about it. I'm really glad that Lucas has entrusted Star Wars to Disney. And I'm looking forward to all the Star Wars comings to Disney's Hollywood Studios, or whatever it's going to be called in the future. Phyllis says the ride's very quick. Yeah, what I've seen, it does go by pretty quickly. Corey says the opening for the attraction was a 6-hour wait. That's a long time. And hello, Jennifer Hoffman. Thanks for joining me. Standing in the queue for Frozen Ever After. Fingers crossed that both the battery and the internet connection will hold up so everybody can join me. Danielle says, needs my job. You know, it's a volunteer position, so it's pretty easy to get if you're in the area. Al says, doing a good job. Thank you very much. Glad you could join me. It's pretty dark and hard to see, but just a couple steps away from the load and unload area for the boats here. All right, so far the internet connection's holding up. Here's some folks who are getting off of Frozen Ever After. A few smiles. All right, getting pretty close now. Thanks everybody for holding on there. One. Okay, maybe this is it. Okay. All right, getting ready to load. All right, I am seated in the boat. Frozen Ever After, first attraction. Or first ride, sorry. Michael says don't get seasick. I'm holding on. So far, so good on the internet connection. Here we go. It's pretty dark right now.
Snowman, come on, it's going to play. Everyone's thinking it was awesome fun. Making everyone a snow summer day. You're going to go some ice clouds and alcohol. It'll be so beautiful. See you there.
On a day very much like today, honor, save your sister with an unselfish act of true love and full of frozen heart.
Oh, and now they're best friends.
Wow, this is cool. Headed up a little lift hill. Wow.
Finally do where frozen things in summer. The hot and the cold are both so intense. Pulling together just makes sense. Oh my gosh.
Wow. First ride on Frozen Ever After. All right, as soon as I get out of the queue, I'll share some comments with everybody. All right, my first ride ever on Frozen Ever After here at the Norway Pavilion in Epcot. Internet connection held up pretty well throughout, and I'm glad everybody could join me. I gotta say, I was blown away. That attraction was amazing. The animatronics with the projected faces, seeing Olaf actually walk and ice skate around. The images and the projections were beautiful. It was an amazing attraction. Definitely worth the 45-minute wait or so that I was able to have for it. And I'm glad everybody was able to join me. Ken says, loved it. Jennifer says it was short. It was a little short. It would have been nice if it was longer, but it was really, really well done. All right, I'm heading out of Frozen Ever After. Annie says, thank you. Enjoyed it with a cup of coffee. That's good. And what do we have here? We have a gift shop. It's to be expected. Exiting a Disney attraction. I think this is the shop that's been here. We're going to go outside, see what the wait time looks like now. Lisa says, thanks for taking us along for the ride. You are welcome. Joel says, did the big snowman blow cold air? Not that I could tell. This guy is still here. All right, let's go outside and see what the queue looks like now. Candy says, is this Epcot? Yes, it is. Geraldine says, thank you. You are welcome. All right, and just going to peek over here, and I can see that the standby wait right now is 180 minutes for Frozen Ever After. So people are going to be waiting a long time. Oops, sorry for that. And you can see there are a lot of people waiting in line. Okay, so my first ride on Frozen Ever After, I got to say, I was blown away. I think Disney did a really nice job on the attraction. It was short, but the graphics in all the projections were beautiful. The animatronics were amazing, very fluid, a lot of emotion, a lot of very detailed, presentation and the singing. So it did go by pretty quickly. There was a lot to take in, but I really did enjoy it. So thanks everybody for joining me. Look at this. It's the bakery. You may have to make a stop there. So glad that you could join me. Let's walk out here a little bit and see what's going on with the line before we wrap up the broadcast for today. Take a look out over the World Showcase Lagoon. Okay, so everybody, thanks very much again for joining me. This is Herb from World of Walt coming to you on Facebook Live from Epcot and the Norway Pavilion first ride on Frozen Ever After. Really, really enjoyed that. I thought Disney did a wonderful job. I think it's going to be a popular attraction for a long time to come. Glad that you could join me. Nancy says, thanks for doing it. You're very welcome. Darren says, it looks hot. It is hot, and I will be drinking plenty of water. Stephanie says, thank you. You have a very pleasant way about you. Thanks. That's really nice for you to say. Al asks, am I a season pass holder? I'm an annual pass holder, and thankful that I am. I'm glad that I'm in a spot where I live nearby and can visit. Julia says, thank you. Leslie says, thank you. So everybody, thanks again for joining me for this first ride on Frozen Ever After. Glad that you could come along. Glad that the internet connection held up for the most part. And I hope you have a great Saturday and a great weekend. And until the next broadcast, if you enjoy the broadcast, hit the like or subscribe or follow button, whatever you see near the videos, so you can get Facebook to notify you in the future. So thanks very much, everyone. Have a great day. God bless.